We're doing this again, people. Who would have thought that a simple and silly throwaway video about taking eggs on a bike trip would spawn so many important questions? It really did. It turns out that quite a lot of people actually take eggs on bikepacking trips and employ many different techniques for doing so. I was intrigued by the concept of storing them in a bottle of water to stop them breaking. I was also intrigued by the idea of poaching them in the broth or the soup or whatever it is you're cooking at camp anyway. That seems eminently sensible. But the things that really appealed to me, for whatever reasons, is the super basic. I'm a simple guy. So I'm back out in the same bit of woods again, and we're going to try and cook some eggs caveman style. We're going to use both of the fireboxes, the 5-inch and the Nano. And then for the grand finale, we're going to try and do something that I only saw mentioned once, and it might have been a joke. We're going to try and cook an egg on a stick. Doesn't get much more caveman than that. Let's get cracking. The technique that we're going for, super simple, is roasting, I guess, baking. We're just going to hold the egg over heat and cook it that way. So I've seen this done in the embers of a standard campfire, but I don't want to be making fires out here really, so I'm going to use the fireboxes. I've not tried this, but I'm pretty sure both the Nano and the 5-inch can be rigged to support an egg. This is what we're going to try first. But before we start, we've got to make a little hole in the shell so that it doesn't burst as it heats up and kill us all with egg shrapnel. Look at that big beastie. Cockchafer. Maybug. So I had to rejig the little fire sticks a little bit just to make it sit nice and comfy. I sort of got them in a constantly overlocking pattern. I'll show you a bit better when they're not so incredibly hot. And it's definitely doing something. I got a lot of egg over bubble almost immediately, and I feared I might lose all my egg into the fire, but actually that seems to have stopped now. I don't know if that means it's cooking inside or if it's empty, but something's happening. What I don't know is if it's just going to cook dry at the bottom and not at the top. This is a very direct underneath heat, and I don't have a way of turning it round. This is something I might try and address in version 2. So it's only been on there a couple of minutes and I've identified one serious flaw already. I went to turn it to try and expose the heat a little bit more evenly, and the bottom has gone. I mean, it's just burned the shell out. The egg has stayed inside, which means it's probably absolutely cooked to blazes, but it's sort of, I think it's a semi-successful thing. I'm going to take it off, let's shell it, let's have a look, see what's inside. It's actually not bad, look. I mean, it's mostly still in there. It's cooked, there's a bit of goo still in the middle, which is nice. It tastes great, and it cooked really fast. I definitely cooked it too hot. I think it shouldn't be over roaring flames like that. It's not a suckling pig. It should be sitting over just the smoulderingest of embers, I think. Which is sometimes not the easiest thing to achieve in the firebox. The embers, they burn out pretty quick, but no, this is successful. You're going to eat this, and we're going to try it on the Nano, see if we can achieve the same thing, or better. So for version 2, the Nano approach, I've just got the Nano set up as standard, and I've turned the feet inwards so the pot stand is as narrow as possible. And I reckon, although this is yet to be proven, that gap between the 4 little pot stand wires will be just nice to support an egg. And this time I'm going to try and put it on sideways with the hole horizontal so that I can turn it over the heat. See if I can keep that a little bit more even and maybe not burn a massive great hole in this one. So this time, it's been on there for a lot longer now. I mean, that's been there for like 10-15 minutes. I've kept the temperature really low, so it is just sitting above embers. And every time any flames get up when the breeze goes through or something, I see still liquid egg bubbling out. So it's obviously cooking really slowly. That's kind of stopped now, and my embers have nearly gone. So I'm gonna have an exploratory crack of this one and see how we've done second time round. There we go, you can see we did lose a certain amount of volume that boiled out, came out the top, even some of the yolk boiled out of this one. But again, it's a good, this one I've actually overcooked a bit, the yolk's completely solid. But a perfectly doable way of cooking an egg. Oh, it's a little bit smoky, it's really nice. The only issue with the Nano is that the little pot stand feet, they do tend to want to rotate a little bit, and they're only just egg support level as they are. So I'm envisaging some kind of little wire sort of circular rack type affair that clips onto the 4 arms, holds them in place and gives you a nice circular base to rotate your egg in. Might look into that. Egg video number 3 coming soon if I get that one sorted. Anyway, I'm going to eat this and then we'll get onto this egg on a stick malarkey. So for this one, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out, the idea is we take a stick, we make a slightly bigger hole in the egg this time, we stick the stick in the hole and we cook the egg over a more raging fire, like a sausage basically. And I guess this way we can regulate the temperature and the rotation just by sort of moving the stick. I mean, as I said, this was put into a comment. It might have been a joke, but let's give it a shot. Egg on a stick. Oh, no. So much as it is incredibly satisfying to cook food on a stick over a flickering open fire, I don't think it's the technique for eggs. There's been a lot of seepage, shall we say, to the point that I have a feeling it's probably just going to be an empty shell by the time we crack it. So I think it's probably done. We'll open it up and have a look. I don't know how much of that you can see, but I think I was right. It's basically a sort of leathery outer bag of overcooked egg with nothing inside it. So we had to try, didn't we? Faint heart never won fair maiden and all that. Chewy. And there we are. 3 ways to cook an egg at camp. Well, actually 2 ways to cook an egg at camp. 1 way to not cook an egg at camp. The egg on a stick method, whilst I'm glad I've tried it, I mean, why would you? If you've got a fire and an egg, just put the egg in the embers. Far less effort for a far better outcome. But you have to try these things, don't you? You have to try them. And realistically, cooking eggs wasn't the point of this video. You know, I've never done this before, so it's not a tutorial, and it's not exactly rocket science. So it's not like I'm sharing some secret nugget of bike packing wisdom. Now, as with all my videos, the point really, once you get down to it, is just to be out here and doing something. Be out in the woods on a beautiful day, whittle a spoon, ruin an egg, you know, do a sketch, just go for a walk, whatever. It's amazing. Now I'm out here, I've got no phone reception, I haven't seen an artificial intelligence for hours. And it's great, it's good to do that sometimes. I've got nothing against artificial intelligences on principle, but it's nice to just be out here, the birds and the wood smoke, and doing nothing. I think people don't spend enough time doing nothing. It's valuable sometimes. I'd like to do more of it. Anyway, that's me done. No more egg videos planned, I don't think. But as usual, thank you very much to all of you who've watched. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, hit the button, hit the bell. Ko-fi supporters, thank you once again. As always, you are the eggs that make my omelette, especially those of you on a monthly plan. Everyone else, go check out the page. I'll put a link down below. Buy some stickers, buy a spoon. All goes to support the channel and is massively, massively appreciated. More than I can easily say without sounding like a pretentious YouTube person. That's that. Don't know what's coming next. We shall have to wait and see. I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.